Hello, my name's James. I'm a current fourth year medical student at UCL, and I guess this is like my first video, and what I want to do is just explain sort of my situation, my journey so far, and use this channel as sort of self-documentation for the rest of my journey through clinical medicine. It's to start really to go through my first couple of years of medical school. My first year was 2019-2020. And of course in the UK we had, well, across the globe we had COVID, so in March of 2020 we went into lockdown, and that basically ended my first year of medicine really, because the rest of it was all online, and I had an online assessment at the end of the year, which was just an essay, which, you know, I did it on, I think it was on like cardiac events and atherosclerosis and all that. We had to like come up with a case or whatever, but it wasn't really university life. I mean, for the most part I did enjoy the university life, being in halls and stuff like that from the beginning, but moving into like the rest of that year, we did online assessment, the essay, and yeah, I didn't really do, like, I did a formative assessment in February before we locked down with I did a formative AKT and I did a formative CBSA, and what those are just exams. So like the AKT is a written one, which is multiple choice, single best answer, so where you could have two technically correct answers but one of them is more correct. So I did that, and then we did mock CPSAs, so there's like 10 stations or so with different scenarios, and they sort of ask you questions based on the scenarios and stuff like that as well. But after that I went into my second year, which again was still lockdown. So again, it was a whole year of, you know, living in my room that I am now, and that was it really, just doing online lectures and not doing much of anything. So and then at the end of the year we had open book examinations, and because it was like the first time I've ever done this kind of thing, there were no regulations or anything like that, so you could literally do whatever you want, look it up on Google, whatever. So that was that. Moving on into my third year, which at UCL we do an intercalated year, so that means doing like another topic. It can be within medicine or like science related, or I think there are some options that are not science related as well, but for me I did psychology. So for my intercalated year I did psychology, and I did a dissertation. It was on like around the political beliefs and how they align with someone's beliefs of climate change. It wasn't the most interesting, but I have really enjoyed psychology. Like, I've done it at GCSE, I did it at A-level, and I actually really enjoyed a lot of the content. It's just the dissertation wasn't quite that exciting for me. But actually, so I passed my dissertation, but I actually had some problems, and I ended up not passing certain modules within that year, and I had to sort of explain to the school that there were some mitigating factors and whatnot, and they actually gave me the chance to resit those exams the following year. So I actually had to take a year where I literally didn't do much of anything, but at the end of the next academic year I would then resit those examinations, which I did, pass those in a technically repeat third year. But after that I went on to fourth year, which would be my first clinical year of medicine, which you might think now, as I am currently a fourth year medical student, so you're thinking, what happened there? So actually, kind of after the whole debacle of the repeat, I kind of wasn't in the correct like mental space or attitude to my learning. I wasn't really taking it very seriously. I had trouble finding motivation, and I struggled to reach out for help, and I think eventually it got to a point where I was missing so much learning that I had to interrupt and take the rest of the year off. The original plan was to go back, so I interrupted in like must have been March, April, May sometime, so I was pretty much nearly done, but I had missed a lot, so I hadn't really done enough to say that I could take exams at the end of that year. So I had to stop then and then the original plan was to restart back again the next following academic year, would have been in August. But actually, it felt better to just, I think, take that year out, take an extra year out, so not go back in August, do some actual real, whether it be therapy or taking time to do other things to really put myself back into the correct headspace and the correct mental space, and at the end of the day, take care of myself and my mental well-being. And so that's what I did. I took the year. I didn't do much of anything. I just got some therapy and stuff like that, talking through like what had happened and what I could do to not get back into that position, because at the end of the day, that's the last thing I wanted was to go back in and then end up in a space where like I was before. Moving on to my current year and being back at medical school, and I think it's really been an eye-opening experience, like having gone from all the years of ups and downs and whatnot to now, where I am 2-3 months into my 4th year, and I completely have a different perspective on my learning. And like before, like I would probably like turn up to placement, not done any pre-reading, not done any learning on my own, expecting to come to the hospital and have people teach me, which, yeah, you could argue that that's the point. Like, I'm there to learn, I'm there to get experience, but at the end of the day, if I don't have any pre-reading or pre-learning before going, and they ask you questions and stuff like that, how can you engage? How can you engage with these doctors who are trying to help you if you don't actually know what you want to know, or what if you have even a view on the conditions or the topics that you're covering? So I think now going into this year, I was very much in the mindset of, let me get some learning in beforehand before I go on placement. Let me have some sort of preparation before I go, so that I can actually engage and get the most out of my learning. And I think that has been really beneficial. Like, I think I've much more enjoyed my time now than I have ever at medical school. Like, this has been by far the best experience I've had so far. It's only been a short amount of time, 2-3 months or so, and I've only been exposed relatively to a very small amount of medicine, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So currently I'm on Module B at my university, so that includes gastro, hepatology, some general surgery, and then also trauma orthopedics, rheumatology and vascular surgery. So I've already done my gastro, hepatology and general surgery placement. I'm now on the trauma orthopedics, rheumatology and vascular surgery, which was only a week anyway, but I have definitely enjoyed my time on this rotation, on this module, and I think currently going through like some of the trauma orthopedic stuff and the rheumatology stuff has been interesting. Probably not as interesting as gastro and hep, in my opinion, and also the general surgery stuff, but that's just my own opinion and my view on it. But I have, again, being able to learn all these new clinical skills and stuff these past few months, and being able to use it in the hospital and actually know what's going on a little bit at least, not like crazy amounts, but it's been really good. And I think having this new perspective after stepping away from the medical degree has really reignited my motivation, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to moving on, even into, looking forward to, I know it's very early, but moving on to like 5th year, 6th year, starting as an F1, doing my F2, and thinking about like what I can do going forward. Like, medicine is just very exciting for me right now, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think some bits and pieces that I would say, like if you're struggling, whether that be at GCSE, A level, you're starting your uni degree, medical degree, whatever it is, I think it's always important to understand that nothing comes easy. If you want anything in life, you're going to have to work for it, and I think realising that early on is important. I think it kind of sets you up to have a good mindset about what you want to do with your learning. I also think if specifically medicine, like if you're in your preclinical years, or if your degree does preclinical, then, and I think for me definitely like preclinical was like this, almost like medicine was loading, like we hadn't even got there yet. We were still doing, nothing really related to medicine in a way. even though it was like human physiology or whatever. But I think it's understanding that you do need it, it will come up, but you know, bide your time, do your work, get your head down and get through it. And once you get to the clinical years, you'll start to really like realize and enjoy and sort of realize what you've been doing this for. I think that's definitely my case, like understanding that this is what I want to do. I can't see myself doing anything else, and now being here and able to do it. I think it's important to understand if you're doing medicine or if you're doing whatever it is you're doing and you're not finding joy in it, is to have those hard conversations with yourself. Like, is this what you want? Is this what you can see yourself doing? Because at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy it, it's going to come a lot harder, and it's not going to be something that you're going to want to do. And you know, I've had those conversations with myself in the past. Like I've had conversations with family about it. Like, is this what I want to do? Is this something that I want to continue doing? And having to find reasons as to why you're doing it. And if they come easy, those reasons, then obviously this is what you want to do, and this is what you should continue doing. But if you find it hard to find those reasons, or you can't find those reasons, it's not embarrassing or shameful to say, like, yeah, okay, let's step away from it and let's see what else I can do, because you want to do something that you enjoy. Because you know, if this is something you're going to do for the rest of your life, or for the for your lifetime, then you don't want to do something you don't enjoy, because it won't be a fulfilling life. You won't enjoy it at all, and I think that's really important. To kind of wrap up, I just say that, like, this is mostly for my own self-documentation, but if you are going to watch and come along with me, then I'm very happy to have you. It's going to be a sort of like passion project of mine, and I want to continue doing these kinds of videos so I can sort of look back at it at a later date and see how my journey went and see where it goes. But yeah, if you do come along with me, thank you for coming, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.